Walking alone is a way to ease your mind. But what would you do about the shadows that lurk behind? Don't be afraid of the dark, for this is Tales from Around the Campfire. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Tales from Around the Campfire, episode 12. Yes! 12 episodes into the series or into the season, and let me tell y'all, I am. I'm just getting started, you know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, it's only 15 episodes plus a special, which, like I said yesterday, we are going to be more prepared for once the special comes through. But yes, so like I was saying, how are you guys? Hopefully, you guys have a really great day today. Um, but yeah, so we're going to be continuing these scary stories that American horror uh, should turn into a TV show, right? Some of them are interesting. Some of them I do, you know, I do believe. And I think this was like one episode, one of the stories that I said that I don't think so, but you know, moving on. We're still in Ranker.com, and we're gonna be reading this story called Aleister Crowley. Following the extraordinarily creepy life of the 20th century occultist and creator of the Thelema religion, could make an interesting season of AHS. Aleister Crowley referred to himself as the Great Beast 666 and was dubbed the wickedest man in the world by the British press. Crowley's idea of religion is essentially a, a smorgasbord, bard, I don't know, ancient and modern demonology combined with some concept plucked from Eastern religion and sex magic. The self appointed Antichrist did an extensive amount of traveling, writing, and black magic rituals work, so there is certainly plenty of material to pull from this story wise. Aleister Crowley, huh? Never heard of him. Hmm. Self proclaimed the Great Beast 666. That sounds like an Xbox account. Oh, hey guys, I'm the Great Beast 666. Trust me, I've seen PSNs uh, that are equally to this as worse. You know what I mean? Oh my god. So, Aleister Crowley, I don't know, man. Do you think there should be an episode of AHS or a season? Do let me know. Alright, moving on to um, one of the persons that we all know, right? Uh, this one is Charles Manson and the Family. American Horror Cult story, American Horror Story Cult could have taken place in the easy breezy 1960s. The 60s were a time of peace and love. That is until August 9, 1969, when pregnant actress and wife to Roman Polanski, Sharon Tate, was savagely murdered along with three friends in her Los Angeles home in Cielo Drive. Infamous cult leader Charles Manson was the one who ordered the murder on Cielo Drive and several others. He had hoped to start a race war by ordering a series of murders and scrawling political statements and symbols for the Black Panthers on the wall. Manson's orders were to totally destroy everyone in the house, as gruesome as he can. Hmm. I don't know. I don't think this one should be an American Horror Story. It's just me. It is definitely just me. So we're gonna move on. Uh, we just did like what a couple of those um, stories that should be in AHS, but we're still in the same websites, but we're in a different tab, I guess you could say. And this article is called "People Describe the Creepiest Things They've Experienced in Hotels," and this is done by Aaron Edwards. No date. So we're gonna skip the first one because we did read it. The first one was about the father, going on ahead before the family, making sure everything was going correct, and he gets a phone call, and then next thing you know, He calls the reception area, telling him that there was no phone call made. So we're gonna skip that one, and we're gonna go to this one's called Hotel Security. Witnesses the beginning of a haunting. One of my brothers worked security in one of New York City's most upscale hotels. The security desk received a frantic call during one of the night shifts. A guy was calling, all freaked out, that his wife was in the bath and was not breathing. My brother and another security guard rushed upstairs to the room. Sure enough, they found a woman in the tub, and she was unresponsive. My brother and the other guards got her out of the tub and attempted CPR. In the interim, during rescue resuscitation attempts, the NYPD arrived. They told my brother to stop CPR because the lady was obviously dead, and in their opinion, had been for a couple hours. The husband was questioned extensively. He told law enforcement that he and his wife had a fight earlier in the evening. He went out on his own and he came back. His wife was in the bath. He says he went to bed and at that point, but later became concerned when his wife didn't come to bed. Privately, among all these present, the general consensus was that the husband had something to do with it, but it could not be proven. A couple of weeks later, the room was was again made available to guests, and of course, the incident was not mentioned. A woman who frantically stayed at the hotel made a reservation for a week and was assigned to that room. She was the first person to stay in the room since the incident. She came to the front desk the first thing in the morning, very upset with with all of her luggage in tow. She said that she was canceling the rest of her reservation and that she would never be staying in the hotel again. She said that she did not sleep the entire night and that the room was haunted. No one at the hotel had mentioned to her that what had previously transpired in the room. While my brother worked there, every guest who stayed in the room called about strange goings on, and many asked to be switched to another room. Wow. I mean, you don't like. Why don't you like? There's got to be more than one person who was willing to stay in a haunted room, right? I like the ghost hunters and stuff like that. Look, all I'm seeing in this story is profit. Okay, jeez, the ghosts want to stay there. It can stay there, but they're working for me. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. Okay, we're moving on. This one goes. A friendly guy goes insane. An older gentleman walks into front desk at midnight asking for a room. I give him the details and check him in. He seemed normal, quite cordial. The gentleman goes to his room and a few hours later comes down to the front desk and asks me if I knew where to score some ecstasy. I tell him no and he storms off the hotel mumbling to himself saying he wants to kill me. Oh. Now, I don't feel in danger by this guy, as I have a weight height advantage on him, and know how to handle myself in a fight thanks to training by my ex-Marine brother. This guy comes back to the hotel a few hours later in a much better mood. Me, on the other hand, am scared. He comes strolling in wearing a thick sheriff's officer's jacket and a sheriff's hat, an L.A. Carl from The Walking Dead. He asked me if I had a girlfriend, and I replied yes. He tells me to dump her because women are evil. Oh, okay. He then tells me the story of heartbreak and his revelation. The guy went to prison for beating his ex-wife in a rage of finding out she cheated on him. He had a revelation while in prison. The best experience was making love to a man, and that women are the devil. The guy then warns me to dump women and consider men. I apologize to him about how I am straight and thank him for the story. He then walks away saying to reconsider and not to knock it until I try it. Once he left, I called 911 and asked if anybody is missing a jacket and a hat. They say that they will check on duty officers and will call back. They call back and ask me if the person was staying in the hotel. I confirm with them his details are described. They inform me to keep away from him, that he took a brick to a window of a cruiser. The officer was in his lunch at a nearby diner, just doing paperwork at a table, and stole a taser and a jacket, hat, and a club. A few minutes later, the hotel is surrounded. Officers ask for his room number and override key. I provided them with all the information, and the officers race to his room. They find him watching adult movies, sodomizing himself with the club. Uh, okay, they came out of the guy's. They came out with the guy cuffed. He yells and to me, the way out of reconsidering his beliefs of women. Surprisingly, his credit card went through for the charges. Wow. Okay. I mean, like I said, just be careful out there. Like, oof, be careful out there. Um, moving on. This was called A Hotel Clerk Sees His First Brain. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's go. I'm ready for this one. So, working the night shift at a hotel front desk is an interesting job. You get you get your drunks, your meth heads, and all around nutbags. One night, our hotel was hosting a college baseball team. The team came back around 11 p.m. and went up to their room and to bed. No big deal. Then around 1 a.m., the coach comes back absolutely hammered. They went up to their room, and that was the last I heard from them for about an hour. While I was setting up for breakfast, I heard the elevator ding around 2 or 3 a.m. Daylight saving nights in the spring. Out of the elevator bursts one of the coaches, and he runs straight out of the door. Odd, but okay, whatever. He comes running back inside, shooting. He fell. I ran outside while pulling out my phone, dialing 911 to see one of the coaches who had come back face down on the ground with a huge puddle of blood. I have had a bit of rescue training, so I knew how to put it in the rescue position so he couldn't choke on his own blood. The paramedics got there and they were loading him up. One of them wiped off his forehead, and there it was. The guy had fallen out of the third-story window straight to his forehead and split it open, so wide and deep you could see his brain. He was life lighted. Okay, life lighted up to the bigger hospital up north. He lived. I got a raise the next day. Okay, I mean, if okay, I'm gonna assume that these stories are true. Uh, for the guy that saw his first brain, please don't make that don't make that a a ritual, you know, because if you see another brain, I don't think you're gonna get another raise. You know what I'm saying? Because that was wow, man. He actually lived, dude. That's remarkable. That is remarkable. And to the guy that's got a raise, good for him. But damn, I'm certified in CPR, uh, and I tell my friend that I hope that one day I don't ever get to use that. You know what I mean? So I want everybody to be healthy. Um, be healthy, be strong. Mentally, physically, and hopefully no need of CPR. You know what I mean? Just live on strong. That's what I'm saying. But I want to take this time to thank you guys for coming. To the 12th episode of Tales from Around the Campfire. Like once again, I do apologize that my this season isn't well prepared, but I promise you, next season we will definitely be prepared. All right, we're gonna have a whole year to prepare, and I swear if I don't, dude, dude, if something, if I don't get prepared, something's wrong. Call for help. SOS the Medane. I forgot the story, but yeah. So I really do want to thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming, and it's always fun reading stories out, and you know I guess practicing your reading skills. It's very interesting and, in my opinion, very rewarding. So you have a book, crack that open, start reading out loud or to yourself. It doesn't really matter. It's fun, especially when you're reading to somebody else. So, but yeah, thank you guys for coming. I really do appreciate it. And also, guess what I'm about to say? Oh yeah, if you guessed about the phone, hey, look, listen, I'll give you a golden star when I see you, because you know why are you driving with your phone out? You know what I should do? I should give like a golden star to everybody that drives safely without a phone in their hands. I should do that. Just like knock on their window, doot 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 doot. Hey, I saw you with the phone and I saw you putting it down. Smart move. Here's a star for your efforts. Oh man. But yeah, don't play with your phone. Don't talk on the phone. Don't text with the phone out while you're driving. Wait until you get to your destination. Call them beforehand and be like, "Hey, I'm about to leave," or text them beforehand, "Hey, I'm about to leave. I'm about to drive. I won't be answering your messages in some time, but when I get there, I'll get back to you as fast as I can." Alright, so do that. Your friends will understand. Your boyfriend or girlfriend will understand. Your wife, husband will understand. You know, it, they will all understand. Even policemen or other business, they will understand that you're in the car and you can't answer the phone. So please consider not using your phone while you drive, and you'll not only keep yourself safe, but you'll keep others safe around you and outside on the street. Okay? Okay. The story's called "A Sex Worker is Seemingly Everywhere at Once." I'm working nights at a hotel, and it's a pretty nice one. $115 a night usually, but we still get people who only check in to meet a sex worker. One night I had a guy in with a girl, but about his age, so I just assumed they were a couple. So I checked him in and his lady friend into a room and went in on with my shift. This was about 2 in the morning, so I figured they just needed sleep. A couple hours later, I go to start the coffee when I see the lady over in the corner. I jumped at the sight of her. The lobby is usually empty by now, but just figured she needed some air. This guy was pretty smelly. I went to make coffee, and once I got back, she was gone. Then the back door opened. Again, unusual at this time of night, and she walked in from behind, scaring the crap out of me. For the next 2 hours, she would be in one place for 1 second, but gone the next. Oh, I did made some. Uh oh. Hold up. Okay. I don't know what happened. Okay, the page refreshed itself. Okay, so for the next 2 hours, she would be in one place for 1 second and gone the next. Leave in one door and come back inside the different door. After my shift, I talked to the other night guy and realized she was a pro who was just waiting for her ride. She didn't want to disturb me at my work. I didn't really do much but sit there, so she would try to get out of the way, but it ended up just scaring the crap out of me. I don't get it. It is this supposed to be scary? I mean, I guess I would be kind of scared or startled to see one person being in one place, and next thing you know, she all of a sudden instant transmission jutsu out of here. You know what I mean? Who knows, man? Who knows? Moving on though, a business letter learned not to trust bartenders. I was in India for work, staying at a fairly nice hotel. I didn't do this often. I usually like to head straight to the room and order room service while watching a movie, but I decided to have a drink at the lobby bar. I had a drink on my own. There was no one else around the bar, and I made small talk with the bartender. I ordered another drink and decided to use the bathroom. I was gone a couple minutes, and then when I got back, I noticed that my drink, Scotch and Dry, had a cloudy white rim at the top, which isn't normally here. One closer inspection, the cloudy froth was settling into a powdery residue in the side of the glass. I asked the bartender what was wrong with the drink, and he at first acted like he didn't notice anything. I was suspicious now, and I kept it until he acknowledged he saw something. I mean, it was obvious there was this frost 2 to 3 millimeters around the glass. Then he said it always happens and it's nothing. I then looked him directly in the eyes and asked, "Did he put anything in my drink?" It's hard to explain, but his response, though, it was no. He told me everything I needed to know, so I made it out. I made it out like I was more curious than anything, and asked him whether he would taste it. He said no, and said he would pour me another. I declined, and I said I would drink it, but I just wanted him to tell me if it was off or not. All this while, all this while there was this awkward vibe where we both knew the jig was up, but we were pretending like it wasn't happening. I paid up and left the drink where it was, uh, locked and latched my door. Oh, okay, okay. The whole time, picturing myself lying in the bath of ice, sans organs. Oh my god. Hey, listen. I have nothing against bartenders. I don't have anything against bars. But if you like to, head down every weekend, I'm gonna keep saying it, man. You guys gotta be careful. Moving on, dude. A boy wakes up to see something stalking him. When I was 15, my family went for a trip to a hill station named Shimla in India. We booked a suite in a hotel in which the master bedroom had a glass platform of size 8 by 8 feet thick, around 2 feet outside the room, over the valley, which were hundreds of feet below us. Being an adventurous kid, I decided to sleep on the platform overlooking the hills and valleys, while my dad slept on the bed. My mother and sister were in the other room. So, at around 1:30 a.m., around 1:30 a.m. at night, I was sleeping on the side facing the glass, which was about 3 inches from my face. Suddenly, my eyes opened and I saw a woman looking at me intently from outside the glass. I still remember clearly her face was totally pale and eyes dark with black hair and some dark clothes on the body. I can only explain her gaze as of a lion before he jumps in to snag his prey. It took me 3 to 4 seconds to realize where I was, and that this is not some human looking through the window, but some entity floating outside my room. I shouted as loud as I could and pushed myself back so hard from the glass that I ended up hitting the other the other end of the room by force. My dad woke up and turned all the lights on, but there was no one to see now. That was the last time I ever slept with my window shades open in life. It's been 8 years since the incident, but these eyes terrify me to this day. Now, I want to point something out. When he says, "I can only explain her gaze as of a lion," before he jumps in to snag his prey, if I'm not mistaken, lions in the animal kingdom, they don't do anything. They just they just protect. They patrol the land, like they patrol their territory, right? But the ones hunting are the lioness, the girl lions, So I guess this person had it backwards or something, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe all the Discovery Channel uh, things that I've seen is wrong, and lions do hunt, which I doubt it, but it's cool. Someone has a shining experience. I once stayed in a room, 410 of the Queen Anne Hotel in San Francisco. Woke up in the middle of the night, needing to go to the bathroom, and saw what appeared like a decaying woman with withered flesh and blue and white gown at the foot of the bed, seeming to stare at me, in spite of having eyes that were just black sunken holes. It was so terrifying I passed out. Woke up in the morning and told my girlfriend at that time about it when she came over. She laughed and when I asked why, she said the book at that room. Oh, she said she booked that room because the hotel was supposed to be haunted, that room specifically, and she was using me as a blind test in case to see if it was true. I ended up staying there another 3 nights without anything happening. Wow. Oh my God, dude. Don't do that to your girl or your dude. You know, as messed up. Why would you book your girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or wife a room in a hotel that you think it's haunted just for your own amusement? That's messed up, bro. That is super messed up. Moving on before I get even mad. This was called They Were Staying in a Crime Scene. I arrived late at a hotel for a business trip. Flight had a malfunction, so we had to land. They fixed it on the tarmac, and we never deplaned. Room already paid for. Room already paid for. Confirmation number in hand. I got there about 5 hours after I was supposed to arrive. Of course, they gave away my room. I already wasn't happy from the delay, and I wasn't going anywhere. The event I was there for was in their hotel. I wanted my room. I was polite, but uh, resultantly firm. They did some scrambling and asked if I would consider a damaged room under construction. What? As long as the sheets are clean so I can go to bed, I don't care, was my reply. Mistake. The room they gave me was literally a crime scene. The case had been closed, so there was no legal issue to contend with, but someone had been killed or nearly killed, not 100% sure, in that room. They had primed over the blood stains on the walls and ceilings, but had only tape down semi-clear plastic over a pool of blood in the carpet. What? Multiple holes in the walls that had obviously been patched up and sanded with, but there were multiple holes in the walls. And they gave me a completely new bed and a TV from on-site inventory, so I was comfortable. But man, it was creepy. The creepiest part of the was the prime job. It was so obvious blood. What the hell? Blood splatter. You could see where the person had been hit and where they fell. You could also see how they had tried to get up and where they would have finally collapsed. Yeah, you know what? No, 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 no. I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, it's cool, man. You know what? As long as I get a clean sheets, dude. No way, dude. Oh my God, that's gross, bro. Like, how can you sleep with a pool of blood? You know, like, oof, that's nasty. Let's keep moving on, man. Moving on. A guy has a premonition of fire. Yeah. I was 22 years old and went to a meeting with my parents in Chicago. We stayed in Hilton on Michigan Avenue in 1982. That night, I had a terrible feeling that the hotel was gonna catch on fire and people were going to just perish. I told my parents that I wanted out of this place. My dad tried to reassure me that we were going to be fine, but I couldn't stop shaking. He had already paid for the room and we weren't checking out. We finally he finally calmed me down by doing a fire escape practice run. Sure enough, the next morning while waiting for the elevator, we were told to evacuate. The hotel caught on fire and 4 people passed. My parents and I were fine and our escape route worked flawlessly. And my parents always listen to my intuitions now, although I've never experienced anything like that ever since. You know, um, if you guys have bad feeling, you know, make sure you pay attention to it. You know, so real life isn't a horror movie. Actually, you know, it could be considered a horror movie, a thriller, romance, comedy. But you know, unlike in movies, we don't get second chances. So, if you guys have a bad feeling, make sure to take it and take it to heart because who knows, you know, who knows. All right, so we're gonna read two more, two more, two more stories that we're gonna be calling it a day or an episode. Here we go. This was called "Do Not Disturb Isn't Enough." My spouse and I stayed at a massive hotel complex which consisted of one hotel that bought almost every other hotel around it. We bought the online special and were put in one of the ancient acquisitions. There was an odd 4x4 piece of plywood that was dangling from the ceiling, just enough so it felt like someone could watch it through the crack, but you couldn't see it. We hung up the "Do Not Disturb" sign and went to the we went to tourist around. What? We came back and the TV was on a maximum volume. We left and returned again, and the shower curtain had fallen down. Good thing it was only a one night stay. The room just had the feeling of someone else there. Yeah, that is creepy. And this last one we're gonna read is called "Someone Found Purgatory in a South Korean Hotel." When I was stationed on Korea, my buddy and I were driving from small town up north back to. Uh, Here comes the words that I don't really know how to pronounce. Uh, uh, P, Tech, Pyeong Taek, something like that. I don't know. It was about three. It was about a 3 hour drive, and we didn't have a map, and inevitably got lost. So we first stopped in a restaurant, got directions with a language barrier, get we're getting nowhere, and decided to head back the way we came. Again with the grammatic incorrect, structure of the sentence. I do apologize. And here is where it gets creepy. We stop at a hotel and walk in, but aren't any employees or guests on site. No one at the front desk or anything, even though there were about maybe 15 to 20 cars in the parking lot. So we get in the elevator thinking we went in the wrong entrance. We press the elevator button, the floor above. On oof, the floor, the elevator button, one floor above the floor we were on. Doors closed. We both felt the elevator move. Doors open and walked out. The thing is, we walked out to a completely empty lobby that looked exactly the same as the one we were just in, complete with the front desk and everything. We both freaked out, ran out the same entrance door. We walked out of the hotel from the original door we walked in from, get in the truck and peeled out. To this day, I swear to God that the elevator moved. You can tell these things. Also, where were all the people? This story was kind of weird. Maybe it was translated. I don't know. But to me, it just felt like it did not have. It wasn't as smooth reading as others that I have read. So, with that being said, guys, thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. To episode number 12 of this awesome campfire reading. You know, I'm still thinking of what I'm gonna do for the special. Visual wise, we'll probably have another game because right now we're sitting in the Minecraft world, and hopefully I can find a game with another bonfire. So that'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. We're just gonna have to wait and see what game we play, or what game we start watching. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, you can do so. The links will be in the description below. If you guys want to share any stories, now is your time. We only have a couple more episodes to this season, but I can make room to tell you all stories. And if you have them, send them to me over on my Twitter or comment them down below on the comment section. And yeah, that's it. That's it. And of course, I'll give credit where credit's due. So once again, thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. And so, when the dust settles in and the moon begins to quail, the sun, remember to always look behind you. Until the next one, peace out, everybody.